let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
Stop sucking!
That's the signal!
God.
Go, 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 go,
Drop
go!
it! Six! Stop!
It's beautiful!
Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up and let's go.
Radio show powered by Willis Automotive. Happy Thursday. It is the 10th of April. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com or on the Android app, thank you so much for tuning in this morning. If you're watching on YouTube, give this video a like, subscribe to our channel. You can leave comments in the comment section and follow us on the social media channels of X, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson. Hello, buddy.
What's up, bud? How was you?
Good. I went on a nice long walk with the wife last night and the dog. It was beautiful yesterday.
I dropped Audrey. Audrey had dance last night, and she's been going to the same dance place for a while. I didn't realize till last night it's right by a trail. Right, like I backed up into this parking spot. I'm like, that's a trail. I'm going on a walk. I didn't last night because I had stuff. I was doing a real estate phone call at 6 with a DMAC. I think DMAC class.
Ross
I think they were
is
from DMAC. Maybe they were Iowa State.
Are you
I'm not
teaching classes? You're teaching?
I'm not teaching. No, I'm a presenter. The Mike McCree, who is a commercial broker here in town, I think it was in Iowa State. He is a professor at Iowa State. And he helps out with like city planning, city development, stuff like that. And they had me come on last night to talk to them about the impact of sports in a community, from the level of Wells Fargo Arena, what that does to downtown Des Moines, what the revitalization of Principal Park and Sec Taylor meant to downtown Des Moines, what complexes like Grimes have done, what cities like Grimes have done with sports complexes that now have developments around them, and how they've increased their tax base by doing those things. Travis, you know this. I mean, this is kind of in your wheelhouse. Last night, there was a moment I was like, oh, I'm treading into Travis's water here. I need him to carry the baton from here on out. But that was why Mike McCree was there to, that's exactly what he does. We had an awesome conversation. Talked about communities like Bondurant and, the potential that exists in a lot of these little communities and what sports can do as an economic driver. So,
see, I picture Ross in like a button-up white shirt, a tie, a pen holder on a cigarette pocket.
Pocket protector, they call it.
Yeah, pocket protector, and then you got a PowerPoint, and you're doing a lecture. That's what I'm envisioning.
So my lectures look a lot more just like a speech.
Okay.
Right? It's not a lot of PowerPointing. There's no tie. You know better than that.
No tie?
I'll wear the tie if I am like if I'm MC of an event. Last night I was the guest, and it was on a Zoom call.
Oh, do you like Zoom calls? I don't like presenting.
Dude,
on Zoom.
I was sitting in my car outside of Audrey's dance studio, talking about sports and real estate. It was pretty fun. It was pretty easy.
Man, you're a mover and a shaker. This is why people go after Ross Peterson for advice. He's a subject matter expert. That's what we want to call him, a subject matter expert.
Some people, I think that the technical term is bullshitter, but I think that's when.
If anybody can pull anything out of their ass faster than anybody, it's you. It's you. I mean, if you need somebody to just wing it, Ross Peterson is your man.
I found this list the other day, and I kept it because I wanted to show it to you, and I didn't know why I kept it, but this is why I kept it. You know why I can pull shit out of my ass so fast? I wrote down this list a long time ago. This is when Chris and I were doing the afternoon show. Somebody mentioned some documentary, that I had just seen.
Hold on. You've held on to this list since you and Chris were doing a show together?
I have the same. I have notebooks from. I have notes from. I don't even know what they mean. You know what I mean? I can flip to a note page and it says stuff like Missouri. What were we talking about? It says contrasting fun, and then there's the word fast. I don't know what we were talking about, but I wrote that down because my brain needed to go back to that to talk about something else. These are all documentaries that I have and these were this was like a list I wrote down during a break.
That's just at iHeart it was a 7-minute break. That's a 7-minute break, so I understood why you get so many down.
Yeah, to have something to kill the time during
all
the
right.
breaks.
We'll be back in a half an hour, folks.
I went to the bathroom. I've played golf around the top of the building. I've shot baskets, and how much time is left?
3 minutes. You got 3 minutes.
You have 4 minutes left. Take a nap. Isn't our average commute in Des Moines 7 minutes? Yeah, that's right. Has somebody told our bosses that? Every day. Okay.
Now, and I'm just waiting for people to fire off. Well, you guys take a 3.5-minute break. Well, it's not that long. You got to go pee.
Dude, that's enough time for me to go to the bath. Some days I'm not back.
Yeah, it's true. We've come back live, and I'm like, where is Ross? Where's Ross?
Where in the house is Ross? Not where in the world.
So how many of those documentaries have you gotten through?
Oh, I've seen. Those are ones I've.
Those are
watched? Ones that I've seen and can recall. As I was reading through the list, I can recall each one, and the list has grown a lot.
Damn,
so that's why I'm
impressive.
so full of crap. That's why, because I've watched so much stuff, and I've retained about 3% of it, and then I go, "Hey, I think I remember something."
When do you have time for this? Because every time I call you, you're usually doing something.
The funny thing is, I really don't get to watch nearly as much anymore as I used to. Now it's mostly podcasts because I'm driving all the time, and so it's just a lot easier to listen to podcasts. Or while I'm doing laundry or dishes, you know what I mean? I can constantly be listening to that stuff.
Yeah, I tried one you recommended the other day. I didn't care for it.
What one?
Are You Garbage?
You didn't care for that?
No, I didn't.
I thought that was right up your alley. I thought you were going to love that.
Maybe it's because, I'm a half an hour in and they're not into the Are You Garbage. They're
just
talking
BSing?
more BSing and talking. Kind of like this show.
Yeah.
I'm like, am I listening to The Rush? Am I listening to The Rush?
I've turned on. It's funny. It was our buddy Ken Payne, who has loved our show and been a salesperson of our show and an advocate, the biggest supporter of our show over the last 15 years. And he was the one that told me, hey, I think you might enjoy this show. And I listened to it a couple times and called him and said, this kind of reminds me of me and Travis. And he goes, yeah, I think that's why I like it. So I don't want people. So anyway, we shouldn't talk about it because we don't want people to find that. And
and switch. We want you. We want this to be your daily BS
to be
show.
Your Are You Garbage? Because we're garbage. Travis just proved it to me seconds before we came on the air. He reminded me
that I'm garbage. That I am garbage.
Dude, that wasn't amazing. I don't want to repeat it because we'll lose sponsors and Coach might not have a guest today. So.
Yeah. So we are scheduled to have, and I say scheduled because you never know what pops up, but we are scheduled to have Iowa baseball coach Rick Heller on with us at 7 o'clock today. Hawkeyes with a big weekend series in the Big Ten on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, taking on Nebraska. Iowa 12-3 in the Big Ten, sitting in second place. Their numbers are impressive when you look at their pitching, you look at their batting. Just after a slow start to the season, in that right when it started, when they were going down to Florida and stuff, they've really rebounded in Big Ten play. And they're playing really good baseball. So Coach Heller's scheduled to join us at 7 o'clock. The Masters starts today, Ross. Are you ready for the Masters?
Sure.
6:40, I believe, is the first tee time.
Was there something I was supposed to do to get ready for the Masters?
Well, how do you? I know people who plan, in my office anyway, who plan the Masters much like the NCAA basketball tournament. Like I'm taking Thursday off. I'm taking Friday off. They've got like the regular broadcast up. They've got the Amen Corner stuff up. I'm just not. I'm not into the Masters like that. I like the tournament. It's just one of those. It's golf, right? I mean, the best thing about the Masters to me is not even the golf. It's, oh my God, how do you grow a flower like that? Or just look at the scenery, right? I mean, I'm probably more into the scenery.
Have you seen those pictures, Travis, of like Augusta in 1985 and Augusta today? Have you seen those contrasting photos?
Because they've made a lot of adjustments to the course.
It almost makes you question, how did this place become so special if it didn't look? Because in your brain, when those scenes come on and you hear Jim Nance and Vern Lundquist or whoever it is whichever voice it is you hear, excuse me, as those opening scenes come on, there's something that tricks our brain that says, oh, it's always been like this. It's always, I mean, this is what it looked like in the 30s. Beautiful flowers, all these gorgeous colors. No, it's incredible what they've done with that place. I also know friends that, like you, it's not quite as many that do the thing of the Masters, but I bet most people that are watching right now or listening have somebody or friend in their life that does exactly that. The Masters means a lot.
I mean, John says it's the greatest consecutive 4-day in sports. I don't know if I would go with that. To me, the first and second round of the NCAA basketball tournament is still something unique and special, just because of the amount of games, the upsets that can happen. I like if I'm going 4 consecutive days, I'm going with the first and second round of the NCAA basketball tournament. But that's me.
I think
everybody's going to be different.
I think most people would do that, but that's probably a cliche answer. I do like this. It's, I make fun of the Masters a lot because I do think that it is the most pretentious. They have things like, Travis, did you know that that you can be reprimanded as a broadcaster? That the Masters controls I'm not joking here. This is not some political statement. They control the language. That's why you will not hear people inside of Augusta referred to as fans. There's no golf fans at Augusta. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Notice it these next 4 days.
What do they call them?
Patrons.
Or patrons?
Patrons. You know why?
Because it's a privilege to be on the course? I don't know.
Because fan is short for fanatical, and we don't have fanaticals. There's no back nine. You'll never hear somebody refer to the back nine.
I did not know that.
Yep.
I mean, isn't that what the 10th through 18th hole is, commonly called in most golf courses? We're going to do the back nine.
Here, hold on. I'll find it here for you because I just saw this thing the other day about all the different language that's restricted.
That is interesting to me. You can't say back nine because you got the front nine, you got the back nine.
No, that implies other stuff. So, I'm not kidding. They're always, there's never a sand trap. Never a sand trap.
That's
always
a bunker.
Always a bunker. There's not rough at Augusta.
What's the rough called?
The second cut.
Oh my God!
I'm telling you, this is the stuff that they do that I'm like, well, we're more special than all the others. This is where I love it. This is that cynical part of my brain where I reach a tipping point. I'm like, yeah, I'm with you. I'm excited about the Masters. This is really cool. Hey, wait a minute. There's a lot of bullshit that comes along with this thing, isn't there? Rock.
I've never been on a course.
You put too much gas in the tank, and now I'm flooded the engine.
Can you say, he's not in the second cut? He's in the tall stuff. He's in the tall stuff.
First nine and second nine instead of front nine and back nine.
Okay. Just because it sounds better or more prestigious? You're going to play the first nine today, Tiger. And Tiger's not playing, by the way.
A leaked list in 2018 revealed other seemingly innocuous phrases that have also been restricted. This goes back to that thing in the, remember about 10 years ago, and I think it's still a thing where as soon as a guy would tee off, people would yell, "You the man!
You the
Get in
man!"
the hole!" And then people would yell things like, "Microwave my biscuits!" And everybody would laugh. So they restricted phrases like "to infinity and beyond" and "you the man."
From patrons.
From patrons. Club's founder, Ben Hogan and Bobby Jones, wanted the Masters to be a dignified event, and the language restrictions were a part of that tradition. And I just said tradition. I don't know why I said that, but that's the word that came out of my mouth. Ben Hogan and Bobby Jones, they're the ones that decided a long time ago, we don't have a back nine here.
We have a second nine. So, like when Jim Nantz and the CBS crew come in, and I'm sure you can listen to the Masters on Westwood One as well. Do they have like a refresher course for these guys? Before
I would imagine.
Well,
maybe this is why they love Jim Nantz so much, because they're like, Jim Nantz gets it. Jim Nantz understands the way that Bobby Jones and Ben Hogan wanted this golf tournament to be announced.
He's one of us.
And then people hear it and they just regurgitate it like, "Oh, it's so special. It's so cool." No, it's dumb rules about language that, well, but we're different. We don't have a rough. We don't have bunkers.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate here.
Go ahead. Fire away.
Because
Yuppies.
I look at, I'm just curious.
This is yuppie behavior. Major league yuppie behavior.
I know what you're saying, but in a lot of cases, what we like about sports are traditions, right? Like when I go, I've said it many times. When I go to Kyle Field in College Station, Texas, to watch an A&M game, when I witness the traditions that they've had over a set course of time, I'm like, this is really cool. Why is it we like some traditions and we make fun of others? Is it because they're not ours?
Let's use A&M. A&M has some that I think are really cool. But A&M also has some that are really, really dumb.
And if you tell me the Yell Squad is dumb, I'm going to punch you in the face.
You're
the key grip. Where's the key grip? Where's the key grip? That guy right there. Punch him right in the face. Really hard.
What's that stupid little sway thing that they do?
See, I like that. If you're in the stadium when they do the Aggie War Hymn, it's incredible.
Okay, now we're talking about two different things, because the thing that I see, they do it like,
they do it at the start of every quarter.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about.
The swaying? That's what they do.
No. I'm talking about, this is like a pep rally thing that they do.
Oh, the night before. It's incredible. It's really yell practice.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you. I didn't know that they had a stupid name for their stupid tradition.
Yell practice.
Perfect. Couldn't have come up with a better name if you'd have given me a team of writers. Yell practice. Bingo.
That's right.
Judge, I present to you my first piece of evidence.
Would you feel
Yell
differently?
practice.
Would you feel differently if that was Iowa or Iowa State?
No. I would hope I would see through it. Now, is it possible that I'd be blinded by my fandom and I'd put on those black and gold glasses and go, "Oh, this is the coolest thing ever"? I don't think so, Travis, because I was the first guy when the wave started to go, "Oh, crap, I'm getting cynical about this. Oh, crap, somebody's going to make money off this thing. Oh, crap." And now you go there and people are hurting themselves, patting themselves on the back. The University of Iowa literally comes on at the end of the first quarter, and the guy literally says, "And now the greatest tradition in college sports." It's so hard. So hard to pat myself on the back while I wave at the same time. Just do the wave. That'd be cool. And to say, "Hey, we're doing this thing that's for these kids." Really neat. Make sure you turn around and take 10 seconds out of your day of partying to acknowledge these kids that are going through some hell, and parents. Instead, "And now the greatest tradition in college sports." Get bent. So I know for a fact if the Hawkeyes
Okay,
are
I'll
doing
give you
some
that. I'll give you
yuppie
that.
bullshit like this, I'd say, "Oh my God, why are we having yell practice and going out there and going, huh?"
You did that pretty good. You might be able to be a yell leader.
That I can make fun of it. So that there's a lot of traditions that are really dumb, and these are a list of them that make the Masters dumb. These are a list of them that make the Masters silly.
Is the burrito lift dumb?
It's certainly cheesy. I mean, the reason
so two things can be true at the same time. They can be dumb, but they can be cheesy, but they are tradition.
I mean, the burrito lift was something that we made fun of. I can't believe that's still a thing. When that came out, and they were like, we'd like people to do that, and then they put the fake burrito on top of people. I was like, this is going to last like a game. And it's like 30 years they've been doing, you got to pump it up. You got to pump it up.
So are things like the juicy wiggle dumb?
No, okay.
I'm just throwing stuff out there.
And I think what we're having here is a conversation about art or pornography. You know it when you see it, right? I don't see the jump around thing at Wisconsin as cheesy. I don't see the juicy wiggle thing as cheesy. Because again, these weren't things that were like a press release. Hey, we're going to play this song and we want everybody to dance to it. That happened organically.
Okay.
The jump around thing, they started doing it. It became a thing. Everybody reacted in a way. They were like, oh, we should do that every time. That's really cool. These things of, we want everybody to show up at 6 o'clock at the stadium so we can go through yell practice.
But didn't that eventually, that happened organically back when it started?
Did it?
And it just, yeah.
Yell practice?
Are
you hearing yourself?
I am.
There's a Hall of Fame for athletic directors? What? Are you listening to the words that are coming out of your... Does it sound as crazy to you?
No. They
doesn't. Have yell practice, Travis. I couldn't have come up with a dumber name for it.
And maybe it's because,
me.
Maybe it's because I've been there and I thought, you know what, it was something that you don't see in college athletics a lot, right? It wasn't sold. It wasn't, hey, come to yell practice presented by Bob's Aggie Land
point.
Barbecue.
Good point. In a world where everything is
sponsored.
Dude, you know what one of my favorite ones is? When you're listening to Iowa or Iowa State football broadcasts, just before the coin flip happens, and then they're getting ready. We got that 45-second break. Pay attention. This is great. They'll have a field condition report brought to you by an ag seed company. We're going to go down to the field right now and get a field condition report. It's turf. All right, that field condition report brought to you by some ag seed company who gave us a lot of money for the field condition report. Make sure your field is getting the right.
Or in the middle of play-by-play, and Dolph is good at it. And this is not a rip on Dolph. It's when there's a sack. He's very quick to say it's a Mershman seed sack. It's not
so good. What's the other one? What's the lumber company that has the Spawn and Hammer? It's not a lumber company. That's not a
Spot and Rose, isn't it?
Spot and Rose. That's
Spot
it.
And Rose.
Spot and Rose. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a Spot and Rose hammer hit.
Just rolls right off the tongue. Yeah, but I guess this really, what we're proving here is it just comes down to, much like if you like a restaurant, if you like a movie, if you like a podcast, if you like anything, it's individual feelings.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I see the Texas A&M stuff as cheesy. Super cheesy.
And I see it as tradition.
The wave to me is a great example of that. What a cool thing. What an organic one fan said, you know what would be really cool if we took a moment and did this. And that thing took off, and it shines a wonderful light on the fan base of Iowa, takes a moment to bring into perspective what's happening there on a Saturday, right? And bring real life for 10 seconds. That's a really cool thing. I despise that they announce it as the greatest tradition in college sports. What are we doing? Now it sounds like now we're milking, we're taking advantage of, we're marketing these sick kids. You're marketing the sick kids. You're making it, hey, look at how great we are. We don't want to have to do this. This is something that, you see what I'm saying? Like, this is almost like when you start tying sin dollars to schools. Like, hey, we're going to fund the schools through Prairie Meadows. Wait, no, we want less people to gamble. We want less people to smoke cigarettes. Be careful with what we're tying that tax dollars to. Be careful with what we're tying how much we're tying our emotions to that, and how we're marketing and monetizing that. Yeah, man, I like in that stadium at this time, please participate in the college sports greatest tradition. And all I see is this.
It's like, oh, you bastardized it for me.
Yes. And the minute it was said, remember, Travis, we started doing this, we were weeks into it, and I was like, oh, shit. This thing's going to get taken advantage of. They're not just going to let this thing be. They're not just going to let this.
I don't think it's been taken advantage as much as I thought it was going to be.
When you announce it as the greatest tradition in college sports, you are patting yourself on the back.
They are, but they're also taking what, Sports Illustrated or CBSSports.com, when they do their rankings of
yes, you let other people say that. You let other people say that it's the greatest tradition in college sports. Anyway, and I know, but this all started because of the Texas A&M thing. I'd probably be more cynical about it if the Hawkeyes had yelled.
No, it all started because of the Masters, which starts today, and the first tee off is at 6:40. That means the old geezers are getting on the first tee about right now to do the ceremonial tee off. Now, give me some perspective. Who are the old geezers now? If I'm not mistaken, it's Jack Nicklaus.
Okay.
Look it up. I'm Jack
going
Nicklaus.
Right now.
Gary Player, I believe, and I don't know who the third is. I don't know who the third would be. Because Freddie Couples is still playing. Freddie Couples tees off like this morning.
Freddie was the first one. I was wondering about that.
Freddie's still playing.
Date me and go, oh, man, it's all the boomers. Freddie Couples.
So look it up. I believe it's Jack Nicklaus,
okay. All right.
Gary Player, and I don't know who the third is. If they even have a third.
Golly, I'm trying to get there. This is more difficult than I was hoping.
Shouldn't be that hard. Google knows everything.
Well, all it wants to tell me is who's teeing off here at 6:40.
Did you say who does the ceremonial one?
It's Tom Watson. I didn't type that in. I didn't use my chat.
Rob said
GPT.
it's Tom. A lot of people telling us it's Tom Watson. So Tom Watson, Gary Player, and Jack Nicklaus. So there you go. Thank God for the chat. Again, our listeners are the smartest people out there.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. And thank you to listener Mick, who got his Rush flag. And I don't know if you saw the picture. He went to Fong's last night, and he ate like a king, but he went out in front of Fong's and had the Rush flag. And so he's carrying the banner for the Rush Nation. For the Rush Nation, yeah. 515-517-2303. That's the number to call. Good to have you along on a Thursday morning. We'll take a break. Come back. I want to keep talking about the Masters. We got derailed a little bit. It's fine.
I did the squirrel thing again.
It was a good squirrel. Good squirrel. Good squirrel in the phone booth. Very good one. All it's right. The Rush Radio Show at therushradio.com.
Hi, I'm Josh Roman, manager at Willis Lexus. I want to take a moment to share with you the great deals that we've got going on starting now through the end of April. We are offering $100 off a full brake service or $50 off a two-wheel brake service. In addition to that, for limited time only, receive up to an $80 prepaid Visa or MasterCard. You can give us a call to schedule or visit us online at willislexus.com.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
If you have a pest problem with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's local expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly pest solutions at a fair price for your home or business. Call us today at 515-218-3400.
Believe it or not, spring is coming. When it does, be absolutely organized with custom garage or closet systems from Absolute Garage and Closets. Turn a winter mess into a spring success at our showroom in Urbandale or visit absolutegarage.net.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Spring cleaning continues. Come down to Land Rover Des Moines to get your front and rear differential fluid services done for $199.95 each. Preventative maintenance is important to ensure your vehicle runs smoothly down the road. To schedule, give us a call or head online at LandRoverDesMoines.com.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Listen to the Rush Radio Show all day long at therushradio.com. All you have to do is go there and click that Listen Live link. If you are listening on the Android app, if you have an Android phone, you can just go to the app and it'll be playing right there. You can also find the podcast there or wherever you find your podcasts. Of course, if you have not registered to win the Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever tickets, they're going to be playing in Iowa City against the Brazilian national team. Go to therushradio.com, powered by Willis Automotive, and make sure to click the promotions tab, fill out the form, and you could be registered to win a pair of tickets to see Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever in Iowa City. So what we're going to do is keep registration open through April 18th. So 8 more days, and then we're going to draw 5 random names that will then come together and confirmed yesterday at Dowling High School. We're going to bring those 5 lucky winners in on a Saturday morning and have you shoot a logo 3. We'll determine where that's at, and whoever, basically you got to make a shot. Now, if multiple people of the 5 make a shot, then you got to make another one. We might move it to a different location. You got to
shoot like Caitlin, where Caitlin shot to go see Caitlin.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. So, again, get registered today by going to therushradio.com. Click on the promotions tab, fill out that form, and you're entered. It's that simple. It's that simple. A lot of good feedback from that, so we'll have a lot of people entered. And we'll have a little fun.
And a huge thank you to Coach Tom Wilson and Dowling High School for helping us out. Again, we might end up in like one of the auxiliary gyms, right? It's going to be a handful of us. We're not going to make a big event out of this. We'll post this stuff on socials, but I mean, You know that Caitlin hit threes in every gym in that school.
Yes.
So wherever we go, you can feel like Caitlin.
I just thought of this. We should have asked the Clark family if we could have just gone to her house, and shoot in the driveway where she honed her skills.
You mean the barn? Didn't she shoot in a barn? I thought Nike has convinced me that she shot outside at a barn while her dad was
on a peach basket. On a peach basket.
Yeah, in a peach basket. Right.
Dad, are you coming in to shoot with me off the John Deere?
No, the International Harvester needs an oil change.
You were talking about the weird traditions at the Masters and what broadcasters can't say. Jason Day, Ross, has been asked to tone down his attire for this week. Last year,
this is great.
He dropped Nike as his sponsor, and he brought on a different sponsor where he was dressing. He had some weird clothes last year. This year, the Masters asked Jason Day, hey, could you send in your clothes so we can approve them? And they wrote him back and said, hey, we want you to tone it down a little bit. Here's what's acceptable. Here's what is not acceptable. Now, the Masters isn't alone in this. If you Wimbledon in tennis, it's required that you wear all white. If you watch the Australian Open, if you watch the U.S. Open, the French Open, tennis players kind of wear what they want, colorful. But you get to Wimbledon, and there's an all-white attire. The Masters has asked Jason Day, hey, could you tone it down a little bit? Just tone down it.
I've even Googled it to look. I don't remember this last year being a thing at all. What did he wear?
And it was ugly. It was. I think Malboon Golf is his. Yeah, and it was like this big sweater that just said Malboon across of it, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right or even getting it right.
So I am seeing it. It almost to me looked like he was wearing a caddy's vest.
Yes, and I think they're like,
over the top of a t-shirt.
Yeah, and I think they said, "Hey, could you not wear that? It does look a little weird." But if no different than when Phil Mickelson. Remember when Phil Mickelson? I forget who his sponsor wore the button-up shirt. Remember he wore like the business button-up shirt while he was
listen, so man, fashion is so weird to me. How people are like, no, what his style was too weird.
Yes,
but Payne Stewart, oh, that's classic.
When he wore the
guy wears knickers. Guy wears knickers and a what do they call the little newsboy cap?
Just a flat. Yeah, I think a newsboy cap is.
He literally dresses in a Halloween outfit. He dresses in an era outfit, and everybody's like, "Oh, look at Payne." This guy shows up in something that's a little bit different, and everybody's like, "Jason, hey, come here. Hey, could you just not wear that? How about that? How about next year?" Send us a photo. Lay out your outfit on your bed the night before. Take a photo and just text it to me, and I'll give you a thumbs up or thumbs down. But just do it via text because I'm still busy creating that list of words that the announcers can't say because I'd hate to call the patrons fans or the sand trap or the bunker a sand trap. Oh. Listen, if you don't want the guy to wear blue jeans on the course, I get it. If you don't want him to be like shirtless like me on the course, I get it. That makes sense.
Well, it's interesting because most golf courses you go to now will say, hey, collared shirt is required. But there are a lot of nice T-shirts like what you're wearing. I would golf in what you're wearing right now. A nice T-shirt. It doesn't look bad. Looks professional.
Thank you.
Is that one of those dry fit?
No, this is one of these shirts. Can you read that?
No. Looks like
can I?
Is it a Costco shirt?
It's a green shirt.
I could see that.
Oh.
12 live golfers are on the Masters course today. The Masters said it's not going to do a special entry much like the U.S. Open has done and the Open Championships, better known to you and me as the British Open. But you will have 12 live golfers on there, a lot of exemptions from major championships and past master winners. I believe what they say, like 3 of the 4 past Master winners are live golfers. This thing has not been solved yet. Of course, the PGA rejected a $1.5 billion infusion of investment from the PIF, I believe, last week. To me, listen, when Liv first started, I like the idea. I'm still. I was probably a bigger Liv fan because I like the rebel attitude of just trying to change the game a little bit, and I think it has changed the game. I think PGA has adjusted to some things, giving more money, and stuff like that, but it hasn't taken off, mostly because it didn't have a TV deal. Finally has one with Fox, but it's kind of like, is Live Golf? Is this fraction in golf just forgotten about?
Yes.
I mean, do we? Yes.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like, yeah. Don't know the answer to your questions that the fraction in golf is forgotten about.
Yeah.
Was it good for golf?
I do, because I do think the PGA. I think the initial, upsetness that players had, but then when it all calmed down, they were like, well, maybe we don't like the team aspect, but there's other parts of this that made a lot of sense.
Making more money isn't so bad for us.
Yeah. Maybe
think about it.
Controlling our social media, is in what we do as independent contractors isn't a bad deal.
All right. So, and I see Rev writes in the chat, F Live Golf. Why? Rev, can you call? Why?
It goes back almost to what we were talking about in the first segment, and that was it broke tradition. You broke off and like you soured a sacred game.
This to me, the F Live Golf is like, man, screw Ed O'Bannon. Why? What did Ed O'Bannon do? Well, man, he ruined that system. You mean the broken, corrupt system? Shouldn't we all be excited about that? Shouldn't we all celebrate that and go, hey, way to go? We all looked around. I mean, listen, with golf, I don't think I realized it. I don't think I realized that until Phil Mickelson and some of these guys started stepping up and going, oh my gosh, we could make a lot more money. We as the players deserve a lot more cash. And they started to break down what was happening with the PGA. That's when you go, oh yeah, the PGA probably should change some of their stuff around. And right, I think that the instinct is, well, what's the way it's always been? Because that's the way I want it to be. Even in the face of, hey, the PGA was not treating their players the way that the players wanted to be treated. PGA wasn't. They're doing a lot of stuff that these guys didn't want to have done. There's another option out there, and you're mad at the option?
I don't know whether to take this as a compliment or a rip. And Jay says, Rush Radio equals the Live Golf of sports media.
I think that's a compliment.
Okay. Because
that's a compliment. Breaking off, doing their own thing. Yeah, I think that's a compliment.
Just knowing that you don't need that structure of a corporate company telling you what to do and have to live within their boundaries and their rules.
Yes. Okay, so Rev says it's the Saudi money that he doesn't like about it. That's why F Live Golf. This is called moral high ground, okay? This is in the framework of a conversation. The best thing that you can try to achieve is the moral high ground because it's a superior argument than most other arguments that will come into a conversation. And by claiming that you have this moral high ground that I don't like where the money comes from.
I think you'd be surprised what the Saudis are invested in.
I think you'd be surprised where most of the money for most of these big, if that is your standard, that you're not, like if you're out there keying Teslas right now because you don't like Elon Musk, have you Googled other CEOs? You don't like the Saudi money? I'm with you. The Saudis do some awful, 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 awful stuff. Awful stuff.
But it is a moral high ground. And that was
the moral high ground argument. and
that was the original talking point, and that's what
Yep.
it was. It was a talking point to persuade public opinion.
Yes, exactly.
Because it was an emotional reaction.
It is another thing. You're not actually addressing the conversation of, is the PGA treating their players the right way? Well, wait a minute. Where's the other team's money coming from? That's a weird verge. Why didn't you just answer the question of why aren't you treating the players like these guys? This other group is showing up and saying, hey, we can drag these players over by offering them this cash. If you guys have it and you guys treat them well and you guys are the best organization, why aren't you doing it? Well, they're only going to play 54 holes. Okay.
They're only going to have limited players.
Yeah.
You know, look back to the early 80s. Was the USFL good for the National Football League? You can make the argument, even though it was a failed league,
Trav, was the XFL good for the NFL?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Did it force the NFL into a new era? Yes. Yeah, I think that Live Golf, now we're talking about it, Live Golf, and I don't think I could quantify how or tell you what's changed with the PGA that I think has made it better.
Well, I think money. I think the voice of the player has grown a lot more. I think it's forced the PGA to adapt so it doesn't lose more players, and it just gives a stronger voice to the people who are really driving the ratings and the reason people watch. And that's I like the rebel mentality. Do I think the Live over time makes it? Probably not. But at the end of the day, it'll be an ESPN 30 for 30 in like 10 years on how Live really changed the game of golf.
The rise and fall of the 54 league. Yeah.
Yes. And that's what I think it really was set out to accomplish. Now, if it does make it, if they're able to keep it, more power to them. I think it's going to be very hard to sustain that. But you know who's benefited the most? I mean, Phil Mickelson's the devil because of it, right? Because he was the ringleader. Bryson DeChambeau, here was a guy that was like ostracized by a lot of people in golf and other golfers. He has changed his public image
totally
with Live Golf. Totally changed his public image.
Now, when you say he's changed his image with Live Golf, what do you mean?
He's had more capabilities of doing stuff with social media. You see his personality a lot more.
Yeah.
He has become almost the fan favorite of a lot of people.
Okay. I'll agree with that.
And he wasn't that on the PGA Tour. He was
totally. He was. In fact, he was the weird guy in golf. He was and he still is. Let's be honest. He still is the guy that talks about the makeup of the pin. And
yes.
I mean, these guys, they get nerdy about this game, and they get really good about what type of grass they're hitting off. And we've seen Phil Mickelson talk about like the direction that the grass has been mowed will determine a few. It's crazy. Bryson DeChambeau he was his own worst enemy for a long time, right, Trav? Because he wanted to be the smartest guy in the room, and he wanted to show everybody how brilliant he was.
He would take forever. Here, and Brooks Koepka had that, that battle with one another. Now
Brooks,
they're friends.
I think, was the first guy that was like, God, this douchebag.
Yeah.
Did remember? Wasn't it Bryson that had the thing with the rope, where he like tried to step through a rope and it hit him in the forehead, and he acted like he'd been shot by Oswald? You know what I'm talking about?
Odd reference, but I think I remember that. Yeah.
I think that was Bryson DeChambeau. He's like, like, takes a knee.
But I think Bryson is what golf needs, right? And Ward on the chat says, hey, listen, he's the best showman in golf right now.
Agreed. He has revamped that image. He went from being the douchebag to being the kind of, I don't want to say the cool guy. He's not there, but he's really changed his persona.
Yeah. And why he likes Live Golf, he's like, hey, I can do my own thing in Dallas, and I don't want to play the Greater Milwaukee Open. I don't want to play the John Deere Classic. I don't want to play in some of these other tournaments. I want to play the big tournaments.
Imagine getting to that point in your life.
Well, when you leave for like $100 million, you can do that.
Yeah, right. I don't want to go play in Illinois. How much does the tournament pay?
It's a good spot to be in.
It is a real. Congratulations is the right word. Well done.
Well done. Zach Johnson is going off the tee this morning at 7:13. Phil Mickelson at 8:58. Scotty Scheffler, your odds-on favorite to win the Masters. Tees off at 9:15. Bryson, as we were just talking, he goes at 12:23, so he's going to be later this afternoon. John Rahm, another former winner, at 12:34, and Roy McIlroy will go off at like at 12:12. So, yeah, the fun of the Masters is underway, and it's traditions, it's quirkiness.
And not a lot of former champions with a real chance. Like, as you're going through, so your former champions, Scotty Scheffler, John Rahm, Hideki Matsuyama, Dustin Johnson, Tiger's
Reed. Not playing, though, is he?
Nope. Sergio Garcia, Danny Willett, Jordan Spieth, Bubba Watson, Charles Schwartzel. Zach, he's in the list.
He's getting up there in age.
Yeah. Does Zach have a chance of winning the Masters? Would you put money on Zach Johnson to win the Masters?
No. I don't know if I put on money on Zach Johnson to make the cut.
Not a lot of former champions that you would put money on to win it. Scotty Scheffler.
John Rahm, I would
Rahm.
put on there. Yes. I actually hope Bryson DeChambeau is in the mix come Sunday. If you got Scotty Scheffler against Bryson DeChambeau on Sunday, I'm watching the Masters. I'm going to watch that.
Would Bryson in the hunt on Sunday be enough for me to stop what I'm doing?
It was him and Scheffler last year, right? I stopped what I was doing.
Okay.
Because you have some storylines there.
I've got enough buddies that are big golfers that it's going to be a part of the text threads all weekend. I mean, I'll more than likely on Sunday be tuning in for those final holes. I just hope that it's that it's competitive. That there's a one-stroke difference going into 16.
Jason just made me laugh
What's
because
that?
you don't watch Righteous Gemstones, do you?
No, I don't. I've and again, nothing against it. I've seen a few episodes. It's a Danny McBride, so I get the laughs, and I go, okay. And then the things that scroll through in my phone, oh my God, that show's hilarious.
He goes, is anybody going to watch Baby Billy's new show, Teengus? Looks like a banger. He goes, I got a winner here. It's Jesus as a teenager, and I've switched it to Teengus.
Baby Billy.
Oh my God! I finished White Lotus last night, so I'm done with White Lotus. And Walter Goggins was great in that. It was a pretty good, not a bad season. Again, if you have not registered for the Caitlin Clark tickets, go to therushradio.com. Get yourself registered. Go to the promotions tab. All you have to do is go to rushradio.com. There's a promotions tab. Click on that. Fill out the wonderful form, and you'll be one of automatically registered. And we'll draw 5 names coming up on April 18th to join us at Dowling High School on the 26th of April to shoot a Logo 3. And it's if all 5 line up and all 5 make, we do another round. If all 5 line up and 1 makes it, you're the winner. This could be a literally 5-minute competition or 2-hour competition, depending on how long it takes.
I'm coming up with some solutions so it's not a 2-hour competition. I'm hoping we're in and out of Dowling in about 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I got some ideas.
Because we all have plans that day. We don't want to take up your whole day.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we move up 5 feet each round. Maybe we get one of those little high V Caitlin Clark basketballs and we let them shoot those.
Ooh, we should go get a Caitlin Clark edition Spalding basketball. They have to shoot with.
Not a bad idea.
But they're all like sold out, and like the good ones are like $150.
They're not.
They're not all sold out.
No.
The cheap ones still available.
No, Ivy went in big on the Caitlin Clark buy.
Oh, really?
Oh boy.
massive. I don't blame him. You know why? Because
you want to know why your high chai is $17. Ask Patrick Mahomes, Caitlin Clark, and the guard with the gun.
Do they have a guard with a gun at Hy-Vee now?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. I didn't know.
Top flight security in the world, Craig.
515-517-2303. That's the number to call. When we come back, Iowa baseball coach Rick Heller scheduled to join us. Big weekend series for the Hawks. They're playing really good baseball, sitting right near the top of the Big Ten standings, and they got a good series coming up this weekend with Nebraska. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Spring is here, and so are spring pests. Whether it's birds in your dryer vent, raccoons in your chimney, squirrels in your soffit, ants in your kitchen, or bats in your attic, with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions can help. Call us today at 515-218-3400 to schedule your inspection and see how Bats and Bugs can help prevent your home from becoming their home.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage & Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage & Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage & Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
Missing a quality, home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high-quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
Hi, I'm Josh Romick, manager at Willis Lexus. I want to take a moment to share with you the great deals that we've got going on starting now through the end of April. Receive $150 off a set of 4 tires or $75 off a set of 2 eligible tires. In addition to that, for limited time only, receive up to an $80 prepaid Visa or MasterCard. You can give us a call to schedule or visit us online at willislexus.com.
Do you have a pest problem? With over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's local expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly pest solutions at a fair price for your home or business. Call us today at 515-218-3400.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
It is the Rush Radio Show at therushradio.com. Happy Thursday. If you're listening on the Android app or at therushradio.com, thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube, good to have you along. Hit that subscribe button. Like this video. You can leave a comment. Also follow us on the social media channels of X, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson. You know, Ross, for several weeks now, I've been preaching Iowa baseball, saying, you know, and you know I'm a big college baseball fan. We had Kyle Peterson from ESPN on right before the season started, talk about the Hawkeyes' chances for the season. They got off to a slow start, but have been red hot in the Big Ten. They're 12-3 now, and they got a big series coming up this weekend against Nebraska. So joining us today on the Rush Radio Show is the head coach of the Iowa Hawkeyes, Rick Heller. And Coach, I like those glasses. I need one of those that pull off.
That's nice.
Those are great. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Very, very good. You guys have been playing fantastic baseball. You got off to that slow start in right when it started. What turned things around? I mean, you're hitting the hell out of the ball. You're getting great pitching. What turned it around for you?
You know, honestly, guys, if you go back and look at the losses early, every one of them was either the other team played great and we lost a one-run game, or we made one mistake and it cost us. The first 15 games of the season, the opponents were fielding 999 against us. And as you guys know, in baseball, it's kind of the long game, you know, and it's more that way with 162 games in Major League Baseball. It always comes back around. And in college baseball, in 56 games, you know, you just hope that it does, you know, because the way this season started out, I was like, holy cow. I mean, we were playing good baseball, but the teams we were playing great baseball. And, you know, we didn't catch a break. And I think the first game of the season summed it up for us. You know, you have a new team, and we turned over almost every guy. I mean, you know, 2 starting position players back, really. And, you know, all the pitching that we lost. We lost 5 juniors to the draft. We lost our top 2 pitching prospects to the draft. So 7 guys we lose to the draft. Our catcher was a senior. Our shortstop was a senior. Our center fielder was a senior. And so, you know, we really like this team. We feel like this team's got some grit and some toughness. Love to play. And the first game of the season, we're up 4-2 at South Florida in the 7th inning. 7th inning, 4-2. Anthony Watts is pitching. Runners at first and second, 2 outs, full count. Boom, right down the middle. Guy freezes ball. And, you know, we've got the track man now, so you can see it in college baseball whether they miss it or not. And it's strike 3. He walks him. Next pitch, grand slam. And that's kind of how the season started. And I think maybe, you know, if it goes our way that first game, the new guys are like, okay, we're going to roll now. But anyway, so we kind of had to fight through that. And we had talked with the team basically since the fall that this team was going to be a group that had to be super clean on the mound, super clean defensively, and the offense had to be a 1 through 9, just absolutely pester you and be the toughest out you could possibly be, and do your 1/9 and not rely on, you know, Jake Adams like several years ago to hit 30 home runs. Everybody was going to have to do their 1/9, and it was going to have to be a really unselfish offense. And I think whenever you have a new team like that, they kind of have to figure that out on their own. They can hear it from you. But we had a great meeting before we started conference play when we went to Rutgers. And so this is a new schedule this year. In the Big Ten, normally we would get 5 weeks, sometimes 6, if you had to buy week 1 to get prepared for Big Ten play. Well, now it's week 4 and we're going to Rutgers, and it's going to be cold and windy and miserable week 4, and we're starting Big Ten play. And the message was, I think everybody in the room now really understands that when we play the way we can, clean, on the mound, clean defensively, and really battle 1 through 9, we're really good and we can beat anybody. But if we don't, we can lose to anybody. And the consistency this team has shown, really, even before that, we were just losing some games here and there, but we played great baseball, and we've been playing super clean baseball. The offense has been just fantastic, and Marty Sutherland, our hitting coach, has been here, with me the whole time, and the job he has done with this group of hitters is incredible, and the buy-in he's got from the group, the commitment to the 1/9 and the unselfish at bats. If you look at our stats, I mean, they're incredible numbers in all the unselfish things. Low strikeouts, high walks, high hit by pitches, high on base. It's just been a lot of fun to go through it with these guys, because they just go out and play. They play hard, and we kind of look at the scoreboard at the end and see if we did what we needed to do.
Near the conference lead in a lot of those offensive stats that you were talking about there, Coach. And I think you kind of walked through us there a little bit. I wanted to ask about that offensive explosion, where that had kind of come from, but this is a concerted effort. Did that go back, obviously, from the beginning of the season? You're talking to these guys about doing their 1/9. Is this something that actually goes back to even that recruiting process when you had to rebuild this roster, rebuild the lineup, not necessarily roster, but rebuild that lineup? Was offense a focus at that point in the process?
Well, it definitely was. I guess I would say it's philosophically, when we recruit offensive players, we're looking at those numbers. We're looking at kids that innately don't chase, don't strike out a lot. And then obviously you're looking at all the other stuff that everybody is, power and fast speed and, the ability to hit the ball and do damage. But
that, real quick, those metrics, exit velocity, launch angle, are those things that when you're recruiting, are you looking at those metrics?
Well, you are some. Okay. You're looking at those things for sure, because if you can get kids to come to camp, then you can get those metrics, easier. And that's good to have, but what we need more than anything, if they kind of fit the bill with the other stats that we talked about, we need a kid that is a team-oriented player, an unselfish player, a guy who is really there to win and not worry about all conference or his batting average or getting drafted. I mean, they all are. But the number one focus is doing whatever I need to do to help the team win. And that's really what we have tried to do since day one. And what I've always tried to do in 38 years is find humble, unselfish players. Because when you get guys like that, then they will adapt to our system. And I think our system and our ability to develop and teach, I think it's as good as anything and anybody in the country. And each year, I think it gets better. And Marty Sutherland, who does our hitting, who heads up our hitting, and then Mitch Bowe and Tyler Cropley's helping us this year as well. But the buy-in is important, because if you don't get the buy-in, it's just going to be okay. In the last 3 years, really, we've got great buy-in, and last year's offense was outstanding until about the third week in April, I think it was, when we lost our three key guys. We lost Sam Peterson, Andy Nelson, and Kyle Huxdorf, all to injury for the year. That hurt us. We weren't very deep last year, but our 9 guys, if they were healthy, were really, really good. And then it was a fairly significant drop-off. The cool thing about this year's team is with all these new guys, there's like 12, 13 guys that can come in and play. And if you look, I mean, they're hitting over 300 with a 400 on base. We've got great production from the backups, from guys that are situational guys, from guys that are matchup guys. The whole offense has really pulled together and come together as one, and it's been a lot of fun.
So you lead the Big Ten as a team in batting. You lead the Big Ten as a team in ERA. Your run differential is one of the best, if not the best in the country. You knew you had to have those numbers. Are you surprised by those numbers?
No, I'm not. And we haven't talked about the pitching, but Sean Kinney is our new pitching coach, and the job he has done, fantastic, phenomenal job. I mean, and the one break guys that we caught last year, and it would have been a rough blow if we had not. But Cade Obermueller was a draft eligible sophomore, which in the baseball world, that's kind of like the golden ticket, right? Because you've got a leverage year your sophomore year, and then if you don't like what you get offered, you got another leverage year your junior year. And Cade turned down a significant amount of money out of high school, to come to college. And Cade had an opportunity to sign for, pretty good money last year. And Cade was willing to bet on himself and come back and take his leverage year as a junior. And so having Cade back as the number one guy with all the other losses really helped out a lot, because we've got a bona fide Friday night guy. And the improvement Cade has made is really significant. And our staff and as a whole, Sean Kinney has done a great job. But I guess the one surprise I would tell you is the power numbers. I wasn't expecting as much power up and down the lineup as we've shown this year. Now, I will tell you guys this, and you guys will get it because you're from the Midwest, but a lot of people across the country don't. So much of the power numbers in the North depends on your winds, what the wind is doing.
Oh, the wind.
I mean, last year we had a bad luck year. I mean, we played so many games where it was 30 miles an hour straight in. I mean, there's nothing you can do. I mean, you can pick it up and hit it twice and you're not hitting it out, and it doesn't matter. and this year, a traditional baseball field sets where home plate in the southwest corner, so the warm winds blow out. Well, we have played a significant number of games this year at fields that were reversed, where it sets in the northwest corner, so the north wind blows out. And so our guys this year have been rewarded, maybe more than any year since I've been here, with days where the cold north wind was blowing, but we happened to be playing at a field where the north wind was blowing out. I'll give you an example. Like at Rutgers, when we got off to the good start, and we really needed some of those balls to fall, and the wind was howling, from the north, and it was cold, but our guys would barrel it, and it's like, holy cow, I just hit a double. Holy cow, it's not blowing back in my face. we had a game at home prior to the series at Rutgers where we hit 6 balls like over 103 miles an hour, where the expected batting average is 850 or more, and all 6 of them were caught, when the wind's blowing the other way. So I would tell you that we've been a little fortunate this year with some friendly winds, and the power numbers up and down the lineup have been really a pleasant surprise. Because doing damage, it's one thing, to talk when we talk. We want to dominate the zone, and we want to do all the stuff we talked about earlier with getting on base. But the key to that philosophy is you have to do damage when you get guys on base, and that's the great thing, is that we've been doing a lot of damage with doubles and home runs once we got the runners on.
All right, Coach, you kind of touched on some of the money stuff there with the opportunity that is there for these young men and betting on themselves by coming back. A lot of people are going to ask, because most coaches that we talk to, the conversations lately have been about money when it comes to recruiting and NIL. You've been in this game a long, long time. I'm sure you've seen a whirlwind of changes. Specifically, what changes have you seen in baseball when it comes to NIL and recruiting?
Well, man, it's been crazy, really, for me to see how the game changed, because baseball forever has been really unfair because
100% unfair.
I mean, the gap, you can't see my hands, but the gap was like this wide to begin with before NIL, because you're at the mercy of your school's financial aid policies. And if you're at a school like Iowa and you don't have a lot of supplemental aid, minority grants, hardship grants, gain in-state tuition, reciprocity with another state, that's the thing most general fans don't understand. They think football, basketball, and everybody's on a level playing field. I mean, prior to NIL, Coach Ferentz and Coach Saban and Dabo Swinney, they all started at the same spot, and then anything that happened after that was maybe real cheating, if it was happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And in baseball, if you're at a school that, for example, all of the SEC states, they have these lottery scholarships and they have these hope scholarships where if you're an in-state high school student with, barely a 3.0 and, 18, 19 ACT, you go tuition free. Well, if you're an equivalency sport of 11.7, we don't have 11.7 scholarships. I mean, that's a huge advantage. You're getting basically every in-state kid for free. And then if you throw in any of the other supplemental money that you could potentially give, the gap was really significant. And then if you're at an institution that maybe doesn't have a bunch of great high school students, then what are you doing? You're having to give more academic money to get good high school students. And so you're getting blown out of the water with academic money. And then the one that really hurts a lot is there are a lot of schools, including schools in our league, where you can gain in-state residency within 6 months to a year. That's big if you think about it. That cuts the cost in half for an out-of-state student and allows you to recruit nationally. So we already had those gaps. Now throw in NIL, and it's like, oh wow, and so all of a sudden the majority of those schools we're talking about, they've got now $1 million, $2 million, $3 million in a collective where it isn't the coach out beating the bushes, and then their sport, baseball, became a full ride sport. So basically they used their collective money to make baseball a full ride sport, and then the players they really wanted were above full ride. And this was year one. So I'll give you an example. We had the Big Ten Pitcher of the Year 2 years running. Okay. And at the time, Robin Lund was our pitching coach and one of the best pitching coaches in the country. And we're running one of the best pitching development programs in the country. And, all the pitching guys that really wanted to be good, we could get their attention. We could get them in the room. We're offering kids 50%, 60%, and that's a big scholarship, right? And they're looking at you like, what? They're getting full ride plus $100,000, full ride plus $75,000. So the gap became unwinnable. That summer we lost 14 guys in a row that I felt like we would have got the year before. It's just a crazy, crazy world and crazy game. And it was to the point where, and you guys know this, if you dwell on that and you dwell on the negatives, it can break you down. And it was really tough for a while because you felt like it was an unwinnable game. And the gap had widened, and then throw in the transfer portal, and guys were just going out and stealing players and there was no enforcement of the rules. And so that was a bothersome thing for me, and it probably would make me want to hang them up faster than even the NIL. The NIL I don't like because it has nothing to do, in my sport at least, it has nothing to do with how hard you work or what you do. It's totally at the mercy of the billionaires or boosters in your booster pool. And if you don't have them, well, there you go. What are you going to do? And we all know certain parts of the country have the oil billionaires. Then you got the cotton billionaires. Then you got these guys. And it's pretty easy.
You just said
$10 million in a collective with no concern on anything back on their money. But if you don't have those guys, man, it's a battle. I mean, it's an absolute battle. And so basically what we had to do was just say, hey, we're going to focus on the things we can control like we've always done. And we're going to do the best job at the things we can do. And our culture is great. We don't lose kids out of the portal. The guys last year, we talked about the 5 guys we lost in the draft, and the two guys we lost, the recruits. All of the 5 guys that were here were recruited by other schools, illegally.
Tampering.
I mean, they were offered lots of money in the summer leagues, and they all came back here. We didn't lose one of those guys, and some of them were offered up to $1 million to leave.
Wow.
And so that's what we're battling. But I'm proud to say our culture, our program, the kids want to be here after they're here, and they're not. I mean, maybe that'll change someday. People say, oh, it's not going to last forever. Well, so far so good. Our kids want to be here. We do the best we can. We get the most for them we can. I spend, honestly, the majority of my time up to this point. They say NIL's changing, if the judge's decision goes through, and it's going to be more like true NIL like they wanted it to be, and we'll see if that happens. But that, supposedly the collective model is going away.
More rules
up until this point, that's what I do. I call and try to raise as much money as I can to help our guys. I mean, that's what I'm doing.
Coach, you got a big series coming up this weekend at Dwayne Banks Field. You're taking on Nebraska, a team that probably hasn't lived up to what its expectations were in the Big Ten. But this is a big series because they'll travel well, won't they? I mean, this is a good series where a nice home crowd would be nice because there will be people who make that drive from Lincoln.
Yeah, for sure there will be, and it's always a hard battle and a fun series, and we'll have a big crowd here this weekend. We're going to get decent weather and a little cool maybe on Friday, but still better than it's been. And then, we're close to 70, over 70 on Sunday. So yeah, it'll be a big weekend for us, and never fun playing them. They're tough to play. And regardless of the record, they're a good team. And you guys know that. I mean, they beat Oregon State twice at home the other day. They just beat Kansas on the road in the midweek. I guess you guys know this as well, but I tell people this all the time. In college baseball, the margin between winning and losing, depending on who you play, is about like this. And it's more about when you play somebody as opposed to who you play. And our league is so balanced now from top to bottom, and everybody kind of casual fans was like, oh, Oregon and those guys, they're going to dominate the league, and maybe they will. But I think even those teams, compared to even the bottom team in our league, it's not very far apart anymore. We got coaches in the league doing a great job. And just to give you some perspective, we were hoping that the league would allow us to play 2 divisions in baseball.
Yeah.
But the Big Ten, for whatever reason, they wanted to get away from the division model for at least the first couple of years. So, to me, a 17-team one champion baseball division didn't make a lot of sense, especially when you miss 6 teams, and you could really make a pretty cool setup with 2 divisions. But anyway, when we made that division model, we told them just put any team you want in the division. None of us care because we're not afraid of anything either way. And if you don't like it, change it in 2 years. But I think the league is really good and really balanced, better than it's ever been. And you better play against anybody. And if we don't play well, they'll beat us. And if we play well, we'll have a good chance. So, they lost one of their top arms, and that's always a tough thing. And I think that sent them spiraling a little bit, and they always play a tough schedule. And as you guys know, in college baseball, if you roll the dice and try to play that tough schedule early, it doesn't always work. Sometimes it doesn't. But I've played Nebraska before when that's happened, and then you catch them here in April, and now they're the team they were supposed to be, but the record's not good. So, if they beat you, you don't even get good credit with the RPI, when they're really a good RPI team,
Coach, all right, final question I want to ask you about some recruiting things, because you've got a lot of Iowa kids, including Big Ten Player of the Week, Cooper Schulte. He's an Iowa boy. Does the scheduling of Iowa's high school baseball season affect how these kids are recruited? Does it impact the opportunities that Iowa kids are getting at all?
No, I don't think so, because all of those kids now play the circuit in the fall and at least the circuit in the spring or the fall, or both.
Yeah.
And then they're doing winter stuff too. The really top level baseball players.
And the majority of your recruiting, Coach, goes from that USSSA travel ball type of thing?
What's that now?
The majority of your recruiting happens at that level, at that travel ball, USSSA, club ball, spring, fall, rather than high school baseball?
Well, no, I'll take you through it. So high school baseball in Iowa, to me, is a great thing for Iowa, because where it helps us is a late bloomer, because there aren't guys from other states coming in to randomly watch a game. They're going to Perfect Game or PBR events in Atlanta and 600 teams or 300 teams. So what we do a lot, the way we kind of do this is it's kind of double work. I found out it wasn't as much work when I went to Indiana State. We would go Thursday, you'd leave for the showcase, and then Sunday night you get back, and then you could work in the office and get caught up and then do it again. Well, we're going to high school games on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, in addition to going to the weekend. So like Marty and Sean and Mitch, they will be out on the weekends. And I take care of the Iowa. Like I'm going to Iowa games all the time, which for me, it's great, because being the head coach at Iowa, I know almost every head coach personally in the whole state. Whereas if they played in the spring, I'd never see a game. I would never get a chance to see them play until maybe if their state tournament was in middle of June or something. Yeah. So I really love how the Iowa baseball is set up, because it's real baseball. There's 42 games if you want to play them. I mean, like Florida, for example, you'd think, oh man, Florida high school baseball, they play like 22 games. I mean, all of the states basically use their high school as a warm-up for summer league. And then the schools in the north, I mean, they, in a bad year, I think some of the schools in Minnesota played 12 games last season, or in northern Wisconsin. And
wow,
I mean, maybe if I don't know why they want to mess with it, because it really is a cool setup for our kids, and it doesn't hurt them at all. I mean, people like to play that it does. It doesn't at all. In fact, I would contend, we have kids that will say, do you want me to go play for this travel team? Because the travel team will come in across the country once they see who we sign, and they try to poach them to go play travel ball and sell them. You're going to play better competition. You're going to play this. Well, there's some truth to that. They're going to see better pitching maybe on a consistent level, but you can't underestimate the value of playing for a real team. I mean, a team that's trying to win a championship together. And, that's what we base everything on. So I would hate to see us lose that, because a lot of the travel stuff, I mean, there's some really good organizations that do teach, and you hear the bad stuff, but there's some really good ones out there, but it's never the same as playing on your high school team. You know what I mean? It's just not. And I'd hate to see them lose that. And ours is a big deal. I mean, they play a lot of games together. It's in warm weather, and I enjoy being able to go out and watch them play.
Coach, I love talking to athletes and asking them, what was your most fun year of playing sports? And most guys will say like 12 or one of my teams in college that we won and there was the camaraderie. So thanks so much for giving us time here, Coach. This has been awesome.
I do got one more question, though. It's Cowboy night on Friday night. Are you going to get rid of the regular ball cap and wear a cowboy hat?
I don't know. My wife was asking if she should wear a cowboy. I told her she could do whatever she wanted.
I know you're going to
probably won't, but I hope I'm a country music guy, so I hope we have some good music tonight or Friday night.
I know you're going to be playing at Principal Park later in the season. Let's get you back on before the series in Des Moines.
Yeah,
we can talk more about
awesome. that. I mean, I'm hoping we can have. Last year we did close to 17,000 over the 3 days with Florida International, and having Oregon State come to town and they're in the top 10. Man, I'm hoping we can do 20, 25,000 if the weather's good, and it would be great to fill that place up.
Excellent.
Keep hitting
Coach,
the ball like this. It'll be easy to fill it up, Coach. Congratulations.
Coach,
keep it up.
Thanks for your time. We very much appreciate it. We'll catch up soon, all right?
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate having me.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Coach Rick Heller joining us on the Rush Radio Show. I'm telling you, you know me in college baseball. But I grew up with it, right? I mean, it was a fabric of my being with the College World Series and everything. So big series this weekend over in Iowa City. If you can get over to see the Hawks, do it. Follow this team. They put up numbers. They got great pitching. He went through it, man. It's the real deal. So when we come back, Bruno's going to be joining us. Yes, it's Thursday. Bruno's going to hop on with us on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
You got me falling hard, sweet baby. You got me falling hard for you. And still, I felt this way before. You know it's true. And still, you got me more and more. Oh, you got me falling hard.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage & Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage & Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage & Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
Spring is here, and so are spring pests. Whether it's birds in your dryer vent, raccoons in your chimney, squirrels in your soffit, ants in your kitchen, or bats in your attic, with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions can help. Call us today at 515-218-3400 to schedule your inspection and see how Bats and Bugs can help prevent your home from becoming their home.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
We here at Willis Automotive pride ourselves on providing the utmost in hospitality, treating everyone who walks through our doors like a guest in our home. And during our Friends and Family Sales event, we extend that philosophy to our prices. From our Willis Automotive campus in Clive to each location across the metro, we have over 575 pre-owned vehicles for sale at our special pricing, including 55 vehicles priced less than $18,000. Visit our website at willisauto.com or stop into our many locations across the metro and experience the Willis difference today.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Ross had Willis work on his car last couple days.
He did. Man, awesome
running
service.
like brand new.
I hate to say things like this because it's like a knock on wood thing, but I almost called my buddy to say, dude, it's running better than it ever has. Yeah, I love working with Willis. It's white glove service. I love that phrase. I've borrowed that from our buddy Marty at Absolute Garage and Closets because that's what he does also. But I'll try to keep my car pretty clean and looking nice. There's even been times when it's after a rainstorm, I haven't hit the car wash yet. You go in for an oil change, or you go in like yesterday, I had to have some pretty serious work done. I had a coolant leak near my water pump. And then I had a missing bolt on an engine bracket. They had to.
And for the record, you didn't buy the car, Willis. You took it there for.
I just go there for going there for the service. And
your next car, you're going to buy at Willis. So.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, and this is why. I mean, this is part of the reason why. Like, and then it's easy. You drop off. They've got rental vehicles. You walk up. You show them your insurance. You get a car, a Willis car to drive around while they work on your car. There's a text service so that your tech basically sends. You get a text that says, "My name is Dylan. I'm your tech. Here's what's going on with your car." You get a phone call. They say, "We think this is the problem. We think this is what it's going to cost." It was within about $100 of what they told me it was going to cost. So yeah, it was great. Walk out of there and the car's washed. You walk out, you're like, which one's my car?
You know, I'm protective of the stuff that's mine. I'm kind of selfish that way. My wife yesterday, Ross, was like, "Hey, can I have one of your Topo Chicos from Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling?" And I was like, "Well, it's my Topo Chico."
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm very protective. I won't let him drink the Core Power because the Core Power is mine.
I should have kept the Core.
Yes.
I was going to make fun of you, and now you bring up the Core Power, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I should have done that.
Yes.
Because Eli crushed the Core Power.
Yeah. Greta's like, "Can I have a Core Power?" No, you can't. The Core Power is mine.
And here's an important thing with the Core Power. It's kind of like a bidet. Once you turn somebody onto it, that's all. That's
yes.
Because remember, I told you, Eli was like, "Dad, I don't like protein shakes because they taste chalky." And I was like, "Dude, these things taste like a milkshake." Game over. What I should have said was...
And when you tell a 15-year-old kid who's, looking to put calories, or there's not many calories in this, but just protein, and they're going to drink it all. And before you knew it, you went to your fridge, you're like, "Where's my Core Power?"
I did literally.
Where's my Core Power?
Went in there, I'm like,
Yeah, so when you get the restock of Core Power, don't let Eli drink it.
We're pro tip for the parents out there.
Yeah.
Don't tell the kids about the good stuff.
Yes.
In fact, lie to the kids.
See, and that's what I was worried about with the Topo Chico because it has real fruit juice in there. And it's got this. I have this blueberry hibiscus one that's to die for. And she goes, "Can I have one of these?" And if it would have been one of my kids, I would have said no. But it's my wife, and I have to climb into bed with her every night. And so I was like, "Okay, you can have one."
That's where I was disappointed, honestly. I think that was the thing. I'm like, dude, share the finer things with Ann Jeanette. Oh, my gosh.
I know. I did. But whether you want a Core Power, a Topo Chico, a Powerade, you name it, a Rainstorm energy drink, check them out as you stop at your local C-store or grocery store today because it's good stuff. I don't know where Bruno is today. Did Bruno hasn't. I asked him. He said, "Hey, you gonna hop on?"
Wait.
Yeah.
Isn't Bruno in the Dominican?
Oh, that's right.
I just thought,
totally forgot.
That just hit my brain.
Totally forgot. He probably rolled over the Dominican, going, "Am I coming on today?" The answer. Now that would have been cool if he would have jumped on from the Dominican. I would love it
if we get the call right now. He's laying in bed.
I would assume that they have Wi-Fi in the Dominican. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. I don't know.
Isn't that a great excuse, though? Isn't that? They're a resort.
Yeah,
they're a resort.
Yeah.
There's Wi-Fi.
They're not staying in a
But
hut.
isn't that the all-inclusive? Isn't that like the? It's like the sick kid excuse. You know what I mean? You can get out of anything by saying, "Oh man, my kid got sick." Right? Because nobody can go, "Oh, we'll bring them along." And if you just go, dude, we did this on the island for years, going fishing, Now, for real, the first couple years we went up there wasn't Wi-Fi. Then when we did get Wi-Fi, it was like really limited. Now, it's unlimited Wi-Fi.
So when you go up there, there's no excuse not to do the show, is what I hear you saying. No excuse.
I mean, again, it's hard to get on. Sometimes it's
here it is. Here it is.
See, the way that my bank account works, I have checking and savings that takes 3 days.
Ross, we had a no-hitter going in Major League Baseball last night.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd that work out? Let me guess. Let me guess. They pulled the dude because of a pitch count.
Yes. Yep. Eric Fetty with the Cardinals had a no-hitter going through 6. He'd thrown 88 pitches. He'd walked 4 batters, and they said, it's time to come out. And he ends up getting a no decision, and the Cardinals end up losing the game to the Pirates 2-1. This is one of those, as a fan, dude, you got a no-hitter going, keep going. You just ride that pony until it really can't go anymore, right? But as a manager, as somebody who's I get the pitch count thing, but then I just go back in history and I look at some of the greatest pitchers of all time, and Nolan Ryan's always my reference. And maybe I shouldn't compare every pitcher in the world to Nolan Ryan, but that dude pitched like 11 innings one time. Pitch count wasn't a deal. No hitter, but he'd walked 4 batters. Okay. Still had a no hitter going. If you're a fan in the stadium, you're watching a no hitter and they yank him, you're pissed.
Oh yeah. 88 pitches. Travis, like when you said I get pitch counts, I was trying to get back to some of my box scores here from these Iowa games just to see what kind of pitch counts we get from. But I again, trying to get through these HawkeyeSports.com box scores is a nightmare. 88 pitches. Let's just talk about that for a minute, because you said I get the pitch count thing.
If he would have been at 150, I go, okay, your arm's about ready to fall off.
Now I get it. If you would have said to me he was nearing 100 pitches, I said, okay, that seems like some 88 pitches. Any parent, if you've been to any Little League game in your life, you've seen a kid throw more than 88 pitches. You the other day, Travis, I almost brought this story up. You brought it to top of mind, and then it never came out. You were talking about that nightmare when your kid is like 7, 8, 9, and they first start the kid pitch thing, and nobody can throw a strike.
It's because you had the minor league game that had one team had 22 walks.
22 walks. Dude, I remember a Little League game, and I'd have to get my buddy Jim Byers, who still knows the details. When I was involved with Pleasant Hill Little League a lot, we were hosting some sort of regional tournament, and it was like the 3rd or 4th round of this 10-year-old Little League minors tournament. Well, by that point, nobody's got any pitching. Both teams are done. The 3 kids for each team that can actually throw strikes are out of innings, and so both of these teams, it was unreal.
And it's hard to watch.
Oh, it's horrible. Horrible. So, but my point being, and I'm not saying that's healthy for those kids to get out there and throw 150 pitches. I'm not saying, what I'm saying is 88 pitches. By the way, it seems like the more that we have focused on this pitch count thing and controlling these things, the more we've had Tommy John surgeries.
You're kind of right.
I don't know, and I'm just speculating again, and I don't want to play doctor or mathematician or scientist, none of that stuff. But I'm with you, Travis. I don't want to compare everybody to Nolan Ryan or Roger Clemens, but man, those are not one-offs. It used to be this way for 100 years. Baseball was played this way, where a guy could get out there and throw for 7, 8, 9 innings, unless he was getting roughed up, unless he started to lose velocity. And then, by the way, those dudes went out and did that not a couple of times. They did it every 4 or 5 days for the course of a season.
Did this start with the Jabba rules, Jabba Chamberlain? Or was it before that?
He's the first one that I remember. And then Steven Strasburg, remember they held Steven Strasburg to really stringent stuff, and even lost a playoff series once because they were. Can you say that worked out?
No, it didn't work out.
They won a World Series.
Well, yeah, with Strasburg, it didn't work out with Jabba.
Not at all with Jabba. I would say you've got more Jabbas out there. And let's just focus on last night for a minute, man. You're flirting. You've got a chance for history. You certainly are having a memorable or historic night.
To me, it's what we're seeing more and more, and that is, if you get us to the 6th inning, that's all we're asking you to do,
Travis. They don't care about this, and how silly and selfish of you as the pitcher to even want your name in the record book, or to have some sort of historic night.
Yeah, 88 pitches. And if you're sitting and what they say, I think the game went 12 innings last night, 12 or 13 innings, the Cards and Pirates, which Pirates, who knows what happens?
Right, but you end up losing the game.
Yeah. You see how the White Sox lost last night?
No, I saw you put something in there about White Sox losing the most White Sox way. What happened?
Okay, they are down 2-0, or I think it's 2-0. What was the final score? Yeah, they were down. No, they were down 3-1. They were down 3-1. They got beat 3-2. It's the 9th inning. Bases loaded. Single scores the run from third. They wave the runner in from second. He's gonna make it. He's gonna make it.
No.
Halfway home, pulls up with a hammy injury. He's literally halfway home. You see he's probably going to make it to tie the game at 3, and he just comes up gimp. And I'm like, that's the most White Sox way of losing that the White Sox can lose.
I didn't see this.
Taking on the Guardians.
Oh, man.
Like, all right. White Sox with 2 wins so far on the season.
They won their first game of the year. They're 2-9.
They're 2-9.
Second year in a row that they are 2-9 to start the season.
And then you have to ask yourself, if you're a White Sox fan or if you're a White Sox fan, are we cursed? I mean, we have bases loaded. We're going to tie the game up, and the tying run gets halfway home and just stops. And, of course, that immediate reaction, I forget who hit the single, is like on first base going, what just happened there? What just happened there?
What happened?
Texas A&M football is doing some damage control, by the way. Some PR damage control.
Okay.
Did you see this story? So the defensive line has a motto.
Okay.
Their motto is CBO. CBO, D-line, CBO.
What's CBO?
Choke bitches out.
No.
But when they asked one of the defensive linemen what CBO meant, he wanted to edit himself and not say bitches. What word do you think he put in there?
What word did he use?
Women.
Oh, my God.
We laugh because it's so...
He could have used brothers, and it would have been like, oh, that's what you mean by...
Yes. So Mike Elko is doing damage control and going...
Damage control. Maybe you guys should have more cheer practices.
You know, when you come up with a motto, I don't know why each position group needs like a motto.
Yeah,
but that's the assistant coach should go, hey, why don't you come up with something new? Even when it was just CBO. You go, that's probably not the right thing to do.
Our position group needs a motto.
Man.
Our position group needs a motto.
How about just win, baby? Just win. Or dominate. Dominate.
position group needs a motto. I love this show.
We're in the room together.
Yeah. We play the same position for the same team. We wear the same laundry, learn the same plays. It's a brotherhood you wouldn't understand.
Can you imagine being the head coach and he said what?
Come on.
Can you imagine being Trev Alberts and the athletic director going, that just didn't happen? Of all the stuff I got to deal with today, I got to deal with this? Oh.
Dude, like, it's that feeling of not surprised but disappointed.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Of course this is what. Of course. We need a motto. What should it be? It should be choke bitches out. Yeah. Oh, but we should just call it CBO and then nobody will know. Yeah.
CBO. What if a reporter asked me, change the word bitches? Use bros. Use.
Exactly right.
Use something.
Yes. First of all, don't use a motto. Second of all, don't make it that. Choke bitches out. You'd be better off. What's your defensive line? I'm not. What was it? What was that game, Travis, you played when we were kids where one guy you played with 6 guys, right? But there was one football, so one dude had the ball, and everybody tried to get the guy with the ball. What'd you call that game?
Keep or kill.
Oh, okay.
Was that too small town Minden, Iowa for you?
We had a different name for it.
What'd you call it?
Smear the queer.
Oh, I never heard that.
Yeah,
that must be an East Side thing.
So what I was going to say is,
and people are on board with you.
Yeah, that they would have been better off saying like, it's what? Well, what that means is we're going to get the guy with the ball.
But you couldn't say that today.
No, that's why I didn't. I said we used to call it that.
Yes. You clarified.
I was very clear. I said we used to call it that. I tried, and if you remember back, I tried to get you to say it first.
Yeah, and I just said keep or kill.
Keep or kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we really weren't going to kill him, but it was like you were going to go after him, right?
And we really weren't going to smear him or. Never mind.
By the way, according to the online chat, a lot of people played that game because they knew exactly what you were. Yeah,
that's what we called it here in Central Iowa, I think. And again, it didn't mean that. So they'd have been better. Like that whole thing. Texas A&M is playing damage control. Why? Well, you know how every position group has a motto. Well, let's start there.
I get team mottos, I get it. You rally around, this is our motto.
That doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. What's the wide receiver's motto? Catch the ball? That's so dumb. Every position group has a motto. Now I'd really like to know what the motto is for each position group. What's the special teams motto?
I don't know.
What's the exact? Is the long snapper? Is he part of the offensive line or the special teams, or does he have to know both mottos? How do you live by 2 creeds, man?
I was wide receiver.
Here.
I think Iowa's wide receiver position motto is create space.
Yeah, right. It's block. What did you guys talk about most in the room? Our motto. What was the motto? Block. Engage.
Pancake.
Our as wide receivers, our first motto was engage.
We didn't get to spend a lot of time on this, but Sports Illustrated has an article out about Brock Purdy. And they surveyed, and we don't have much time here, but they surveyed some GMs, some other high officials, some assistant coaches, and they're saying it's risky to give Brock Purdy $50 million a year. They said he does not have a ceiling of an elite quarterback. They say he's a good quarterback, but he does not have the ceiling of being a great quarterback. And when you look at the players that the 49ers lost, and even you saw it last year in the injury-plagued season of the 49ers, Brock Purdy was not as good as he was the year before. And they're like, if you give this kid $50 million, that's a major risk on the 49ers. They said, and I know this is all anonymous, but they're like, you should use every means possible to not pay him this year, whether that's tags or whatever, to basically see if he's really worth that kind of money.
And that last part, I think, is the one part I'd agree with of it. Every quarterback is a risk, and $50 million is a huge risk on any quarterback. It really, outside of Patrick Mahomes or maybe Josh Allen and a few other names that you could debate about, that's a big risk. Brock Purdy has proven that he can play at this level. That's what if you're his agent, that's your selling point. Is it worth $50 million? That's where the debate is. He's worth something, and he's worth a shot, and he's worthy of being a starting quarterback in the NFL, and he's worth a lot of money because he's proven that he can play at that level. Is he better if you put better players around him? Yeah. So was Aaron Rodgers.
So is everybody else in the National Football League.
Right. So was Baker Mayfield. If you put them in the right position, the right guy is going to succeed. But you got to have both things. You got to have the right team around him, and you got to have the right guy. And he's part of, by the way, the right guy, the right team around those other great players. $50 million, it's a big risk. Every quarterback is a big risk. He's proven that he's worthy of a risk.
We want to thank Rick Heller, head coach of the Iowa baseball team, for coming on today. Great conversation. If you missed any part of it, you can go back on YouTube and rewatch it, or you can go on therushradio.com, check out the live replay, or even download the podcast. If you have not signed up and got registered to win the Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever tickets, go to therushradio.com, click the promotions tab, fill out that form, and we'll pick 5 lucky winners on April 18th to join us April 26th at Dowling High School to shoot where Caitlin shot. Shoot where Caitlin shot. It is the Rush Radio Show. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Have a great Thursday, everybody.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Spring is here, and so are spring pests. Whether it's birds in your dryer vent, raccoons in your chimney, squirrels in your soffit, ants in your kitchen, or bats in your attic, with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions can help. Call us today at 515-218-3400 to schedule your inspection and see how Bats and Bugs can help prevent your home from becoming their home.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage & Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage & Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage & Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
Spring is here, and there's never been a better time to get your Infinity in for your regular maintenance. Right now, Willis Infinity is offering $25 off maintenance services, such as fluid flushes, differential services, fuel system services. We're also offering $50 off per axle on brakes, and we have our $400 spring and service special. It includes an oil change and more. Visit with your advisor for the full details. Give us a call or head online to willisinfinity.com.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.